And welcome back. You're listening to Home Wizards. I'm Cindy Dole.
Hey, I'm Eric Strom.
And as vacation time is upon us, if you are a pet lover like Eric and I are, you have Hazel, the Labradoodle,
Hazel,
and Jack,
the
cat.
The cat. Love them both.
And I have Bailey and Abby, the Old English sheepdogs. And, you know, it's one of those things where you try to figure out, do you put them in a kennel or do you have someone come to your home and take care of them as a pet sitter?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm very lucky because my mom and dad love Hazel so much that they actually take her.
Well, she's taken to a condo resort.
She's essentially taken to a dog condo and resort, and it has spa treatments for the time that we're out.
And then your dad goes out and walks
My dad
Hazel.
actually came yesterday with, my mom said he'd been talking about it for days. My mom made short ribs, and he saved them and brought them in a thermos with ice to the pets last night. And she's like, he doesn't even talk about me that way. For God's sakes.
Oh, he does too.
He really does.
Oh. Well, so let's,
he loves Hazel.
Let's talk about it. I mean, because we love our pets, and we want to make sure that, let's say if we are going to have a pet sitter come to your home, because you know what? If you are heading out of town and you don't have a mom and dad like Eric does to be like the pamperer of the pooch, you might need to hire somebody. And, you know, we've worked with different pet sitters, and it's really tricky to find that right fit and to have all of your ducks in a row before you're heading out of town because, you know what I mean, you can put it off, and then all of a sudden before you know you're leaving in a couple of days, and oh my gosh, I don't have the pet sitter, now what am I going to do?
And you know, I've seen different people do this differently. For example, you know, you're out there and you're watching some guy staggering down the street with like 20 dogs on 20 different leashes, and it doesn't look like a great time for any of the dogs. So I wonder, do you ever worry about the fact that it's going to be sort of mass care versus individual attention?
Well, so we've never done the mass care. So what we've done
how do you know, though?
Well, so, I mean, you have to first, you know, kind of research your options.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe, you know, there's a lot of different websites. In fact, if you go to the Humane Society, humanesociety.org, they have some great tips on how to find a pet sitter near you, right? And some of the pros and cons. I mean, it isn't that a kennel is bad. A lot of kennels actually have gotten really great where they have walkers.
They have little pools.
They have pools. Yeah. They have like events. It becomes like a camp because they want to be sensitive that you're not just like having your pet in a cage the whole time. There are runs, you know, where they're moving around. So that all can happen. But let's say like we have an older dog and we didn't want it to be our Bailey to be in that setup because it could be really stressful for her because she has a hard time standing up and then sitting down. So we have a pet sitter that has worked with us for a few years now, but it's all about finding that person, just like a kid sitter that you interview, who gets to know you and the family setup. We actually have our pet sitter live in our home while we're gone for a few hours.
Oh, that's kind of good.
So she would like do her own thing, and then she would come over like at the end of her other job and spend the night and then stay here through the early morning and then leave. So then the dogs are by themselves during the day, but from like, let's say 5 p.m. to like mid-morning, they had her here to like be entertained, to get love.
You just got to make sure she's not bringing the boyfriend over.
Well, I guess it could happen as long as the dogs are getting some TLC. But it worked out. We got some good attention. You talk about the group mass care. No, I mean she was here just watching our dogs.
All right.
So that's an option. But research your boarding options. There's a really good website called Camp Bow Wow USA, and this actually will help you find pet hotels.
I've seen, now those
pet
are popping
hotels.
up here in LA. I see them all over the place.
Yeah. And there's also a really great website because after all, there is a National Association of Professional Pet Sitters.
Really?
And so you can go to petsitters.org.
They look like Mrs. Doubtfire when they show up.
And they talk like this.
Yes, hello,
So check out petsitters.org and this way you can find, or Camp Bow Wow USA, to find a kennel or a pet hotel. I know it's a really big thing to travel with your pet.
It's stressful to think of, to travel with your pet. It's crazy because don't they lock them down in the part of the plane that has the luggage? So it's sort of you're on your own, kid. Good luck. I hope you make it, right?
Well, it depends on the size.
Yeah, if they're big dogs, they can't go on the plane. But, apparently you can get status for a dog that is like a seeing eye caregiver type dog needed for psychological reasons. I've known people who've actually found a way through a therapist to get a dog on a plane because they apparently have anxiety, quote unquote, disorders when they're really just trying to get the dog on the plane. So you can kind of work the system a little bit if you need to.
That's great. And if you do plan to board your pet, by the way, back to boarding it at a kennel, visit your 2 or 3 top choices. Kind of take a tour, find out how many times they're going to interact with your pet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If there's an extra charge. So for instance, when we've done this, there's like an extra, I don't know, $10 or $15 per day for them to do this kind of thing, right?
You mean more interaction?
More interaction or more walks and that kind of stuff.
Doesn't it just make you feel sad, though, when it's like you're dropping them off at some strange place? I get nervous about that. That's why I'm so grateful for my parents.
It just depends. I mean, sometimes I think that dogs can get kind of nervous, but if they've had a good experience, sometimes our dogs get all excited. It's almost like they're going on vacation,
Yeah.
I guess they're sensitive. They can pick up on the vibe.
Well, here's the downside. Whenever my parents show up in the driveway, the dog tries to get in their car and get away from us. Because it's so much better at their house, I think.
So those are some things you should try to do 2 months before vacation. Researching the options, visiting the different boarding places. Then now we're back timing, right? 1 month before vacation, so which pretty much means about now, because you're getting ready to go pretty soon.
Yeah.
If you're going to hire a sitter, start to interview some people. And who knew? You might want to know, do they know even pet CPR?
Wait, is there such a thing?
There is pet CPR that's offered at a lot of Red Cross branches. I know.
You don't have to do mouth to mouth. Do you? Come on. Really?
Wouldn't you?
How would you do that though?
You have to learn to take the class.
Can you really do mouth to mouth resuscitation?
Over the nose, yeah. You also can
not doing it. You're on your Hazel. If you're choking, you're dead. Sorry.
You can also figure out, the overnight sitting rates versus like coming once or twice versus, a day. And sometimes your pet sitter will take care of your house too. Like if you have plants, like they'll also sit your plants, water.
Great. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Take in the mail.
Sure.
Pay a little extra. It's kind of handy, right?
You can also train the said high school acquaintance of your kid to come over and do it. That could be a first maybe shot at responsibility. It's not as extensive as this. And it's probably going to be a kid who ends up, having a party at your house. You know what? On second thought, don't even consider
Well, it could be a really responsible kid who actually is a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout. They're really active in school and they get good grades. It might actually be a really good thing.
Maybe.
They might be a natural born leader. They might want to be a vet when they grow up.
They might want to step up to the challenge.
See? Exactly.
Right.
It's a good idea, by the way, for your pet sitter to call on references. Maybe, just like you're going to call on a contractor.
Yeah.
Find out how their family experience went.
That's true. I got a great one if you need one in the LA area.
Okay.
Yeah, she's something else.
Great.
But she does that thing where she'll take on five or six dogs at once. But she lives up in the mountains and she walks them. They probably have a great time.
Yeah. It just depends what kind of one-on-one care you want.
Yeah.
It's a good idea, too, a week before your vacation to have all of your pet documents together, right?
Like vet stuff?
Their vet stuff,
right.
Caught up on shots, all that kind of stuff. And then if you haven't done this before, make sure that the sitter comes to your home and point out, kind of do like a dress rehearsal. Show them where all the things are. Like we will put all of the pet supplies on the washer and dryer, so it's all right there. Like with the, like Bailey, she now is wearing diapers. She actually wears Depends. And they're purple.
Oh.
They're very cute. And so we had the Depends there. We have the dog biscuits. You put the leashes, all the paper towels to clean up for accidents, all there in one place. So you can just have them over and kind of walk them through. Maybe you want to have a comb or a brush so they can groom them,
All right. And the favorite toys, obviously.
Favorite toys. And I always put out a bottle of wine for the pet sitter, too. Because they need to have their treats.
Maybe I'll take you up on this job.
All these things are good ideas because, if you kind of take a back time approach, like a 2 month before, 1 month before, and a few days before, then you're going to be all organized and it'll be one less stressful thing for you.
Yeah, stressful if you don't have it nailed down before you go. It would be terrible.
And then I love the idea, just like you would for your people, your kid sitters, for the pet sitters. And by the way, I think we have this already as a downloadable printable on our website. All the information, you put that there on the sheet and you have it like in a little plastic sheet protector.
Yep. That's it. It's all right there. It's ready to go. Great idea. Maybe I got to recruit Grania, the babysitter, for the pet sitter as well.
I mean, the idea is, why hire a pet sitter? Your pet's going to know their environment. They have their regular diet and their routine. A lot of times when they go to the vet and they stay in the kennel, they have a different kind of food, and their tummy gets sick.
Yeah, it'd be stressful.
And plus they're getting more attention,
Yeah, I think it's better to bring somebody in.
It's a little bit of peace of mind.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be for everyone, but
it also might be helpful for having the presence in the home where the people who potentially break in would know that there's a dog in there still. So it might protect the house.
Right. So take a look at some of the different websites, the National Association of Professional Pet Sitters, one among many others. We'll put this on our website as well. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, we'd love to help you improve your home and improve your life. After all, this is what we do. You're listening to Home Wizards.